This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, getting you ready for today's sports day.
3 of the first 4 games have been at home, so at some point in time you're going to have to venture outside the 806, so that'll start this week.
While having a little fun along the way.
Always good if you can blame it on somebody else, right?
Yeah, sure.
Especially some media guy.
Sure. Right, some media guy.
Catch the show live weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for being with us this morning on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. Yates Morning Center chat line is open. Go to the mobile app. It's presented by Happy State Bank. Trevor asked me if I'm the designated bird cooker. Well, I self-appointed myself to that position. I said that I would smoke a turkey, figuratively, not literally. The lucky lady offered to put it in the oven, but I waved her off and said, "No, I'll put it outside. We'll cook it outside." So hopefully the pressure's on me for that. Pressure's on her for everything else.
Okay. Well, I wish you both the best of luck.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago, I complimented...
And I sure hope that we'll get a report on Friday morning, letting us know how it all went.
Sure. I know that you just cannot wait for that.
Gotta find
maybe send us a text on Thursday. Just, how good it is.
Send you a picture right before I pull it off the smoker.
Sure, yeah. Inquiring minds want to know.
Let's see. Jay says this: who honestly picked Tech football to win the final 3 games in the regular season? Now, that is a true fan. 2 weeks ago, that seemed unfathomable. I think Jamie did, yeah. Because I picked us to lose the last 3. So
Before Baylor, I said, I think you're going to lose the next 2 and win the last 3.
Yeah, you did. I'll give you credit. Give you credit for that. Going back to...
Well, I'm not right yet. We still have to beat Oklahoma.
Right. Yeah. It'll be interesting.
What, we have to play that game? We don't have to play that game. That's silly.
Do they want to play? I mean, should we call them and say, hey, do you guys really want to come down here and play this game?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. If they're willing to flip a coin, I'll count it.
Okay. This from the Tech basketball game. This cat Kelly Dickey. He tweeted this out. He's from the Real Card Game. I'm going to assume that he's covering Louisville Cardinal basketball. He says this: the 32-13 ratio of opponent score to Louisville score at halftime is the worst, or the highest, I should say, since the Cards trailed Bradley 44-12 at the half in a 71-26 road loss December 10th, 1938. So the 38 points that they score, that was their lowest point total since 1948.
Wow.
I know. I mean, and I think of Louisville as a blue blood program. I really do. I mean, you win 3 national championships.
Sure.
I mean, I think
that's fair. I mean, they're not the bluest of the blue bloods, but they're not
the bluest
Duke,
in their
North
state.
Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky. But
right.
I mean, they're
right up
there.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. So they're now 0-5. They'll face Cincinnati, team that lost to Ohio State, and team that Texas Tech will play today at 12:30. So, man, it's just crazy. The defense was outstanding for Texas Tech, and that's one thing. It's funny. That's one thing Coach Adams talked with Jeff Haxton about yesterday on the pregame. Was he was really frustrated with his defense and was really more wishful of having several practices in between games. He said, I don't think we can get it right in one day. Now, I don't know how he would term it. I didn't hear his post-game comments, but I would think that he would have to be awfully pleased with what his team did in flipping the switch and playing a stifling form of defense yesterday morning, afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, but Monday, I thought the Red Raiders still played well. Obviously, you give up you gave up 31 in the first half on Monday to that Creighton team with that offense. I don't think that's a bad number. In the second half, obviously they did more. Would they end up with 75 points?
Yeah, let me get to that.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so you give up 44 in the second half. So obviously they had a much better second half, but I didn't think they were terrible on Monday. I just came away really impressed with Creighton offensively and the playmakers they have and the shot makers they have. I thought that was a really good offensive unit. Maybe you might not play a better offensive team in the Big 12 than Creighton. I'm not saying there won't be better teams who combine defense and offense and all that good stuff. But as far as offensively goes, I thought Creighton was terrific. So I didn't think our defensive performance was, I love that Coach Adams is a coach who's a perfectionist and he always wants the team to get better and all that. That's what coaches do. So I totally respect that. But at the same time, I didn't think they were horrible in that first game.
Well, they gave up 76 was the final. 76
okay.
to
45.
60. Yeah, so they gave up 45 in the second half.
Yeah.
I think I'm just telling you what, it just sounded like he was frustrated with the defense.
I'm sure he is. Again, he's a coach.
And maybe he's never going to be happy with the defense.
That would be my guess.
But my guess would be that he was happier with the defense. You did a better job with second chance points. You got at least into double figures. You had 10. But
that's not have anything to do with the defense.
No. But that was another point of emphasis was rebounding.
I don't know. I look at yesterday's game and I throw that into the category with, Sisters of the Poor JV.
Okay.
Louisville's bad.
No, I know, but
they're bad.
I guess I kind of look at it when you get into those those tournament classic situations. You're playing in an exotic place. You can kind of get lulled into kind of playing down to somebody else's level. So
I would agree with that, and I think that was one of the biggest challenges. Then seeing the 0-4 record, and Louisville gotten punished the day before as well, and Red Raiders were licking their wounds after taking their first loss of the season. I'm sure that was the challenge to continue the. To get the team to play hard and feel like, hey, Louisville could be 4-0. Because hadn't they lost 3 of their games by 1? Didn't I hear Hack say that? I thought I heard him say that. Okay, I could be wrong. Maybe totally wrong on that. But anyway, it just felt like that was going to be the challenge for Coach Adams. And his guys definitely came out and were focused.
They seemed energized.
Yeah.
You're playing in the morning over there, morning time. So it's completely a different routine than what they are normally used to, even with a noon tip on a Saturday. So they'll do it again today. That's the good thing. They'll play at the same time all 3 games in Hawaii. We'll have it for you. 12:30 the broadcast time, 1:30 the tip today. Texas Tech and Ohio State, final game from Hawaii.
Your morning dose of coffee and sports. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
Today is November the 23rd, 2022. A month and a day until Christmas Eve, and just a day until Thanksgiving. Here is Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
That math checks out, yes.
Arkansas.
No, I got stuck on the day before. It's a month and a day for Christmas Eve. In my head, it was Christmas. He said Christmas Eve.
Yeah. It's fair.
That math checks out.
It's fair to question my math. All those things. Everything.
1947, Washington Redskins quarterback Sammy Baugh passes for 6 touchdowns versus the Chicago Cardinals in a 45-21 win. 1984, Boston College quarterback Doug Flutie passes for 472 yards, including a game-ending 48-yard touchdown Hail Mary pass to end the game to beat Miami 47-45.
I wonder who get asked more about their famous pass, Graham Harrell or Doug Flutie. I think it's probably a tie every single day.
I'm going to say Flutie, because it's the Flutie Hail Mary and it's the Crabtree catch. And that's not a knock on the receiver or the quarterback in the other regards.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Flutie's is more famous.
Yeah, I think you're
nationally.
Yeah, you're probably right.
1987, German tennis star Steffi Graf claims her first WTA Tour championship with a 4-6, 6-4, 6-0, 6-4 win over Gabriel Sabatini of Argentina at Madison Square Garden in New York City. 1988, Wayne Gretzky scores his 600th NHL goal. 1989, the Bounty Bowl. Philadelphia Eagles beat the Dallas Cowboys 27-0 at Thanksgiving in an ill-tempered game, after which Cowboys coach Jimmy Johnson accused the Eagles coach of Buddy Ryan of placing bounties on the players.
The interaction between those two was just fabulous.
I 100% believe that would have happened.
And it's
that Buddy Ryan would have done that.
Mm-hmm.
And I also don't think that he was the first or the only to do that.
No.
I'm sure there are plenty of NFL teams that have done that over the years.
Yeah.
Knock this quarterback out of the game and I'll get you this.
Especially in those days when they weren't making just large amounts of money.
Sure. Yeah, I don't even know if it was about the money. It was just like, hey, let's have a contest to see who can knock this guy out of the game. Mm-hmm.
And in 2018, Phil Mickelson claims the $9 million winner-take-all prize in dramatic match-play golf duel with Tiger Woods. Finishing under the floodlights in Las Vegas, the match goes to the 22nd hole before Mickelson hits a 4-foot putt for the rich victory.
Are they even doing that this year?
I
know. Golf is just...
I don't think Tiger and Phil are, no.
No, I know, but I mean, just with this whole live tour and the mess and everything, it just seems like golf is like just in utter shambles, chaos.
I think chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I don't know, is it drawn more interest in now because people are talking about it more?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay. Well, I'm personally, I'm not any more interested, but I don't know about other people. There's drama there with it.
Yeah, it's big drama, no doubt.
Yeah.
It is National Espresso Day. So, really fancy coffee.
Okay.
And really strong coffee.
Yeah, I'm out on the espresso.
Birthdays today. We're going to start with the most important one in my world. And now in yours, too. Happy birthday to my sister, Heather.
Okay.
She's 42 today.
Not that you had to share that, but okay.
She would be very proud of her age.
Okay.
Happy birthday to Snooki, who's 35.
Snooki.
Jonathan Papelbon is 42. Papa John is 61.
Boy, that guy has had a fall from grace, hasn't he?
A little bit. And Michelle Gomez, who played Missy on Doctor Who, is 56. And on this day in 1936, the very first issue of the pictorial magazine Life is published, featuring a cover photo of Fort Peck Dam Spillway by Margaret Burke White.
What year?
This was 1936. Life magazine.
I have a Life magazine from 1953 with Mickey Mantle on the cover.
Oh, my.
Found it in the attic of my wife's grandparents when the grandfather died. We were cleaning out the attic. So
that's pretty cool.
I have it framed and hanging with Mantle. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
I've got the one where it was actually the Queen's 80th birthday, I believe, but the cover was after Jim Henson had died, and it was Kermit in the director's chair with Henson on the back of it, and he's kind of leaning over it, kind of looking for his bot. And that cover spoke to me at that time more than probably any other cover I've seen.
So I think you had two different covers that really described the person that owns them.
Oh, sure.
One Jeff and one with me that are...
I'm a Muppet, there's no doubt.
Different personalities.
And when we were cleaning out my in-laws' house, they had a bunch of Life magazines as well. And I think the ones that I took were either moon-related or JFK-related.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of older folk kept the Life magazines.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Man, I still have a ton of Sports Illustrateds that I need to go through at my house. Tons and tons of Sports Illustrated.
That's like our generation's Life magazine.
Yeah. That and Sporting News as well.
Yeah.
I miss my weekly Sporting News. Boy, oh boy. I mean, I I loved getting that and reading the columns, and I realized I could read it on the line, and they still do. It's not the same as holding it in your hands. When they had that big, huge Sporting News, I don't know if you were a Sporting News fan at all.
I read it sometimes.
The columns that were in it, the articles, the tidbits, I loved it. I remember one time there's a guy who wrote for Detroit named Joe Falls. And I think I was more excited when I was in the locker room after a Royals game and Bo Jackson had this game-winning hit. And I think I was more excited about standing next to Joe Falls because, there's Joe Falls. He writes in the Sporting News cool. than I was standing in front of Bo Jackson.
I get that. We get the same experience with Don Williams every day.
Yeah.
That's Don Williams.
I get it with Chuck Heinz.
You get it every morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
6:54 this morning here on the Morning Drive. SportsCenter's next. We'll talk some Red Raider football as they take on Oklahoma Saturday night. And you'll have coverage all day long Saturday here on Double T 97.3.
Getting your sports day started the right way. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, breaking down the biggest games.
If Texas Tech does not win the Big 12 football conference, who are you rooting for to win the conference if Tech does not win it this year?
Well, busting some chops along the way.
I hold back on sending you stuff. I'm very, very, very judicious.
We spend 3 hours a day, 5 days a week together. Why would we need to communicate during the weekends?
Right,
Save it for the show.
We do. We save it for the show.
Tune into the Morning Drive live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3.
Thanks for being with us this morning here on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. The 8 Sporting Center chat line is open. Go to the mobile app. It's presented by Happy State Bank to participate. All right. Some thoughts here this morning on the Morning Drive. Chuck is the very one that said we would have beaten TCU with Morton. Also, we would not have beaten Texas without Smith. Right. If you don't, I said that if Morton hadn't gotten hurt in the TCU game, that Tech would have won that game. I believe I said that. Yeah. Raiders' dad says this. I don't know that he is still the best, but I think he was the best and had the best handle on what they wanted to do on offense with regard to Tyler Shuck. Brings veteran leadership. If you gave me the option to have Shuck start all the games or get a glimpse of Morton, what Morton is, give me Shuck. I think we have 1 or 2 more wins. Broccoli Rob, even if Tyler is not, quote, the best quarterback, chemistry between quarterback and OC would be much better without bouncing between the 3 all season.
That's fair.
North Carolina State was completely beatable. I don't know about that. Maybe so.
Well, our defense definitely gave you a chance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Definitely gave you a chance.
Shuck is 6-1 as a starter at Tech. Morton is 1-3. Smith is 3-3.
Yeah, I think you look at the level of competition there. Mm-hmm. And I think Donovan has also started more than 6 games. Because I thought the stat that we saw at one point is that he had started 8 and 6 of them, of the 8, were ranked inside the top 25.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna buy what you're selling there.
Over the last couple of years.
Yeah, over the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see here. JL, I hate that you have put me in a position
to agree with Chuck.
Can people not just be on my side without saying, even you said this yesterday, as much as I hate to agree, I have to agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hate that you put me in a corner defending a Chuck opinion.
Isn't that how you want it, though, Chuck?
To a degree, maybe.
So you just took a Jamie follower and flipped him to the Chuck Heinz side. The Heinz posse is growing,
and
man.
He regrets that, and he hates being in that.
Mm-hmm.
He hates being in that
I feel like
position.
this side of the boat just tipped a little bit. I just lost my one follower. They've jumped over to Chuck's side of things.
And look, I know every team can say the old what if game, hey, what if so-and-so doesn't get hurt? Or, hey, what if, we have our quarterback? I get all of that. And that's that's always the case,
I did think one of the texters there did make some sense when he was saying, a lot of sense, really. He was talking about continuity between the offensive coordinator and knowing what they wanted to run and the quarterback. That might have been a plus. That might have been a plus for you.
Kind of flipping forward now to Oklahoma on Saturday. Does this team scare you like Iowa State did, or like TCU did, or even Texas or Baylor?
Well, I definitely thought higher of TCU and Baylor than I do of Oklahoma. I guess just about the same as Iowa State. I think both games were losable, but both games were winnable, just different, because Iowa State, it was about their defense. And Oklahoma, it's about, at times their offense clicks and they look pretty good.
According to their numbers, their leading running back is Eric Gray, 992 net numbers in terms of running. I don't just get concerned about him being the next Oklahoma great running back, which they've had a number of them, right? Whether it's speed or running between the tackles. Dylan Gabriel, their quarterback, you don't really feel like that he's just going to light you up. He's 171 of 275 for, 2,200 yards, has thrown for 18 touchdowns and 5 picks. So you don't just necessarily feel like that he's like, woo, like he's gonna scare you. You kind of have wondered, is this a team that really wants to be here, or be on the field, given how their season has gone under their new coach? They start off with wins over UTEP, Kent State, beat Nebraska handily in Lincoln, 49-14. Then they come back and they lose to K-State and TCU in back-to-back weeks, and then just get absolutely thumped, winning or losing to Texas 49-0 in the Cotton Bowl. And that's what Coach McGuire cited on Monday, and Coach Kitley cited, and Coach DeRuiter cited, that they didn't have their quarterback. Well, man, there's more than one player on the field. There were a lot of contributing factors to that 49-0 loss there in the Cotton Bowl. I think that was a very surprising beatdown, though, of Oklahoma. Kind of just told you, it's like, okay, maybe these guys aren't for real.
Well, it showed you that they don't have a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
That's what it showed you more than anything.
And then the loss at West Virginia, I think that was, just a couple of weeks ago. It was November 12th. They lost 23-20 in Morgantown. So, they have had this up and down year. And Jeff, you asked this question of several of them on Monday, and we kind of got coach speak on all of that about the up and down year and the roller coaster and how you prepare, for Oklahoma along those lines. You didn't really get answered, did it?
I got an answer.
Yeah.
And I really did feel like they did their best to not degrade their opponent this week.
Yeah.
But you prepare for the best of what you have seen and kind of go from there is kind of the answer that we've gotten. And I was okay with that. I just needed them to say that into a microphone.
Yeah. But it is interesting how they have had this roller coaster season.
Win 3, lose 3. Win 2, lose 2. Win 1.
Now what are we going to do?
Now it's time for them to lose 1.
Yeah.
To us.
Is there one victory that you look at that and go, okay, that was a surprising one, or one loss where you just go, that's a shocking one? I guess the shocking loss would be to West Virginia, right?
Yeah, the Texas loss was shocking at how bad it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Was there a win that surprised you? I think I was surprised by Oklahoma State, but the problem with that win is that they scored all their points in the first quarter and didn't really do anything after that.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say shocked. I had no idea what was going to happen in that game.
Sure.
I did pick Oklahoma State, so I'll say that much. But yeah, just had no clue what was going to happen. And if you watch the last 3 quarters of that game and not the first quarter, which is exactly what I saw, you saw a terrible football team in Oklahoma. Although, maybe I should say a terrible offensive team because they only gave up 13 last 3 quarters.
But maybe their best win of the season is Nebraska.
No. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, in terms of how they performed, they put up 49. They put up 49 points on them.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a great win, but I don't know which other one you're going to give them. Yeah, it's a great win.
Maybe the Iowa State one in Ames. They put up 27 on Cyclones, won 27-13.
Maybe.
So anyway, that's Oklahoma and Texas Tech on Saturday night at 6:30. It appears to be. It's going to be chilly. It might be a little snowy, and hopefully it'll be butts and seats.
Your morning blend of sports,
K-State is coming off a big win over Oklahoma. Of course, the Red Raiders off their 37-34 overtime win over number 22 Texas.
and humor.
Sure to tell them that. You suggested that. And, of course, that got a big laugh.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is presented by Bizarre Solutions. Call them today for a free cybersecurity audit.
You know, one of these days, I am going to stop oversharing. But maybe that'll be a bad day if I stopped oversharing, because the reference to all the phone songs today is my admission of having a landline, but the landline being knocked out from our outside of our house to the inside of our house.
Really more about the fact that you don't want to lose the number.
That I don't want to lose the number.
That's your justification for it. You don't want to lose the number.
Still paying for it.
We haven't used our phone in 10 or 11 years, probably.
But you still pay for it.
Yeah, I think it's pennies on the day.
Although it's given me an excuse to play some really good music.
Yeah, it has.
I bet it's way more than pennies.
I don't know, $10 a month. What can it be? Pizza a month, maybe? I have no idea.
I mean,
Could be
good,
10.
yeah.
Could be $10.
I mean, if
a
we're
month.
counting things in pizza, then now we have to have a serious conversation.
Yeah. Jamie's question of the day. Your question, sir.
All right, well, I'm going to give you Tired Head because you just brought it up.
Okay.
Odel Beckem to the Cowboys, yes or no? Do you want it to happen? Do you think the Cowboys should go after him?
Yeah, I do. I think it's right up there with Terrell Owens, and it's right up there with,
What about Terrell Owens?
Terrell Owens, yeah. Terrell Owens, yeah. And Des Bryant, that's right. I mean, they're all crazy. Right? They're all crazy. The question I have is, what's CeeDee Lamb thinking if they go get him?
CD said he's all for it, and he loves Odell and would love to be playing with him.
Okay.
So it would also open up some of his double coverages that he's seen, because you'd have to account for him in the offensive scheme.
The question I would have is, is he going to disrupt the locker room? Is he a difference maker? Is he the X factor? Or is, like, wherever he goes, does he help them? Because I think the Chiefs are in that line too. I just don't know if he is he going to disrupt culture wherever he goes. That's you kind of feel that way, but then you look at what he did with the Rams. I mean, he was on pace to be the Super Bowl MVP. If he doesn't get hurt in the first half and does anything in the second half, he's probably the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff?
Odell, to me, has always been the guy that if he's getting his, everything is great. And I mean, like, he's a great teammate. Coaches love coaching with him. He listens to coaching and all that. The second things go bad with him, though, it's walking off the field in Tampa Bay. Kind of bad. I don't think the Cowboys are one wide receiver away from the Super Bowl. I don't think they're necessarily one wide receiver away from winning the NFC East. So I'm going to say no. And I also don't want to spend more money on your offense, but you've got to do something to help them out. And I know that's both sides of my mouth,
Yeah,
but
right.
you are spending a ton of your salary cap on the offensive side. And Odell would just make that worse.
How about your quarterback? Just play better. Play like he did last weekend.
I'd be a fan.
Yeah, I'm out for a couple different reasons. And Jeff kind of touched on it there. I think Odell would help the offense, but I think when things don't go right, I think Odell Beckham would turn into a problem. I don't think he would be good around CeeDee Lamb because I don't want CeeDee Lamb picking up some of those tendencies. And I just don't think he's a big enough factor to make it worth the risk. Yes, he's a big name and all that good stuff. He'll sell Jerry plenty of jerseys. But I don't think he's going to make a big enough impact to warrant taking that risk.
But isn't he the very kind of player that Jerry Jones likes to go after? I mean, in terms of the high profile,
Sure,
big name,
sure.
all those
that
kinds
doesn't
of
Let's make this clear. You asked us if we wanted him. You didn't ask if Jerry wanted him.
Yeah.
The two are different.
right, Jerry clearly
Just
wants
because
him.
Jerry wants him doesn't mean I think it's a good idea.
Right. The other thing that's kind of curious to me about this whole Beckham deal is usually we don't see this in-season kind of stuff go on with the NFL. It's very rare, to have a player like him being available at this point in time in the season, who could go anywhere. You kind of wonder what's the delay in him getting signed. There's been
so much talk.
Yeah. Is it his health? Is it does he want way more beyond this year than what teams are willing to give? Because
Well, I think he's looking for a multi-year deal.
yeah. And then is there some kind of aspect of, okay, what's his shelf life? How susceptible to injury is he? Because it seems like he's pretty susceptible to injury. Now, here's the deal. You look at the Rams last year. Did he help the Rams get to a Super Bowl and win? Absolutely, he did. And you look at the Rams this year; they're probably not going to make the playoffs. So you kind of look at it and go from the Cowboys standpoint. If he were to come to the Cowboys and you get to a Super Bowl and win it, how much of the next couple of years, whatever, for any of these guys are you willing to sacrifice? Well, I think Cowboy fans might say quite a bit because you haven't been there in 30 years.
I don't think there would be any Cowboys fans that would not take that deal.
Yeah.
If you're saying you're going to win a Super Bowl this year, you're going to take that deal and not worry about the next 2 years. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, you can't guarantee that.
Cannot guarantee that. Cannot guarantee that. But I do think it's interesting that he hasn't been signed, and I think that leads you to all the things that are out there.
If we put Odell on the Cowboys, are they the best offense in the NFC? I don't think so. I think they're good. I think they're really good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think they're the best offense.
What if he goes to the 49ers?
That could be the best offense in the NFC.
I mean, that's also a potential spot for him.
But even then, if you're the best offense in the NFC, are you the best offense in the AFC? Not even close. Not even close. So now I think the Cowboys defense can make up some of that difference, but you're not one wide receiver away.
Okay.
You're listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3, recapping the night that was in the world of sports.
A little bit later on tonight, we'll have the Astros and the Diamondbacks. That'll be at 8. And then the Rangers playing at Seattle tonight.
And also bringing some humor to your day.
Was it pretty big?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Impressive?
Yeah.
Was it fascinating?
I thought it was fascinating. It kind of smelled, but I mean.
Hear the show live weekday mornings at 6 on Double T 97.3 or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
You can lean on me. I've got a kind of a sturdy build to myself here. I feel like you can lean on me. I'll be your friend.
All you
So
got to
will
do is
Jeff.
just call him
So will Jeff.
on his landline.
So will Jamie. Right. Nice to have you with us this morning on the Morning Drive, this day before Thanksgiving. look forward to hearing from you on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Nobody has chimed in with, how they're cooking their bird, what the side dish is that's got to be on the table, the different kinds of pie, all that kind of stuff. So
maybe our audience is not as into the food talk.
Maybe so. Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it? But maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe the shallow end of the pool is a little deeper. It's a little deeper today than I had anticipated.
These are hard-working folks.
That's right. They're out there busting it today between now and about noon, so they can, get out of there a little bit early today and start the Thanksgiving holiday.
I almost gave you what you wanted. I almost had our question of the day, like, what are your three must-have items? But I passed.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. That's...
Like I will on the beets tomorrow, or
you have beets on your table tomorrow?
I don't know, some people, or cranberries. I should have gotten cranberries. Yeah, cranberries, or there's other stuff, plenty of stuff at Thanksgiving that I'm like, pecan pie, not gonna happen. Pumpkin pie,
Man, a pumpkin pie with a little bit of Cool Whip on top. That's pretty good. I think I can't remember if it was last year about this time. I think it was, or 2 years ago. I made the lucky lady used to make her crust for her pies, and
careful.
She and daughter number 2, and so I got done with this piece of pie a couple of Thanksgivings ago. I said, "Man, that was the best pie that you have ever made. That crust was just outstanding," and it was store-bought crust. That kind of got me in a little hot water. Warm.
That's silly. That's not your fault.
I know.
You were complimenting her.
I was complimenting the pie. Well, because
did you tell her, "Hey, you're allowed to get better"?
No.
I mean, you were complimenting her. You were saying something nice to her.
I know, but it was the store-bought crust.
Well, that's not your fault.
I know.
And if she's mad at you for being honest, at that point you can go, hey, you're allowed to improve. You can get better.
She actually thought it was funny.
You're gonna have a Thanksgiving next year too.
She actually thought it was funny that I said that. Let's see. Dylan says this. Good to see you guys at Two Docs on Friday night. Made it a point to shake Chuck's hand. LOL. Thank you all for being personable and welcoming. Yes,
check. Lubbock landmarks visited. Chuck Heinz hand. Check. Experience Lubbock. Here are the 5 things you need to do when you come to Lubbock.
Could we, they got big techs, at the state fair. Could we have just my hand in a kind of a welcoming form out at the airport someday?
Big Chuck.
I don't know about Big Chuck, but I don't know the Big Chuck. Maybe you can just have my hand right there to welcome him with the right hand of welcoming.
Yes, and you get to ride over to the hand in one of those carts. They call it the Chuck Wagon.
The Chuck Wagon.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be a great idea.
Okay, great idea. Okay. With regard to the college football playoff, this person says, I still think Bama gets in. Michigan or Ohio State lose. TCU loses to K-State. LSU loses to Georgia. USC loses to Notre Dame, or Oregon leaving it to Bama. TCU, Ohio State, Michigan loser for the last 2 spots, and we know how the committee loves Bama.
None of that sounded outrageous.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It's a lot of different things that have to happen, but none of it seemed like, oh, no, that's not going to happen. That's crazy talk.
I hate to feel like I have been put into a position where I have to root for K-State, but maybe TCU will fall this weekend, although I rather doubt it.
It is in your best interest that K-State wins.
I know.
So cheer with your best interest in mind. Don't root for K-State to win.
I'll root for the Cyclones.
No, root for TCU to lose.
Yeah, even if the Cyclones win this weekend, you still root against TCU in the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah.
We still want TCU to be the Big 12 champs. Obviously, if you're a diehard Red Raider, you don't. I mean, if you hate the Wildcats more than you hate the Horned Frogs, which is completely acceptable, then root for TCU.
No, I really don't want to see TCU become a Big 12 champion because I've lamented the fact that they're in the Big 12. I feel like that we've given them relevance.
Yeah, but you've hated Kansas State a lot longer than you've hated TCU.
Yeah. I would hate for them to. Can we have a tie? I guess we can't have a tie anymore. Can't have a tie.
No, we're not going to have a tie.
Doesn't K-State already have a Big 12 championship?
You are allowed to root for K-State to lose. Don't let anybody tell you differently.
No, I'm not.
Doesn't K-State already have a Big 12 championship though?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, under Bill Snyder.
They can get another one. Let's not let TCU get any. Okay. Let's root for not making that club bigger until we get in it.
This person says this, and this is also a possibility. I think Clemson may get in if they were to win the ACC over Alabama if teams ahead of them lose. Okay. GMOS, have not heard from GMOS in quite some time. I don't know if he's been traveling or what. I haven't even seen GMOS in quite some time. Thanksgiving morning ritual, go for a run with the dog, fire up the infrared cooker, lower turkey into chamber, observe while enjoying adult beverages. How about that for GMOS?
Go GMOS. Have fun.
We've not
Enjoy
heard
yourself.
We've not had from GMOS. Broccoli Rob says this, hey, Jamie, you should take the super taste tester test. Most adults that are considered picky eaters are actually what are called super tasters, a condition of overly sensitive taste buds that cause you to be particularly sensitive to bitter flavors such as broccoli, coffee, beer, and even some chocolate.
Okay.
I wonder if you could make a career out of that. I wonder if there's money to be made there.
I don't know.
Somebody Jamie has just used his burner phone here on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I'm just ready for college baseball.
Yes. Amen. I've enjoyed this college football season, though, because the Big 12 has been so crazy.
I have, too. I have, too.
And Tech is bowl eligible. That helps, too.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
They've made it entertaining for us.
No question. Well, the Bills and the Lions tomorrow morning on 100.7 The Score at 11 from Detroit. Cowboys and the Giants from Jerry's Place at 2:30 here on Double T 97.3. And we'll cap Thanksgiving night. The Vikings and the Patriots at 7 on 100.7 The Score.
You've been listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3. For more from Lubbock Sports Station, go to doublet973.com.